Hello everyone, welcome back to the live video series that I call ConquerNaNoWriMo. And my name is Frau Cornelius. I'm a German coach and therapist, and I also write stories under my pen name, which is Hannah Steenbock. And today I want to talk about possibly the most frustrating thing you experience when writing a story, and that is getting stuck. And of course, you've been hopefully doing nano, whichever word count you can manage for the last week. And I'm certain you have experienced this moment of, how do I go on from here? And it happens to every writer, by the way. There is not a single writer who can write a story out in a continuous flow. It's just an absolute illusion. So basically, being a writer means you end up getting this moment of being stuck in a story. There are a ton of things you can do, and I'll go through them. You can also read them on my blog, which is on writersdreamcoach.com. I have a weekly blog and a weekly newsletter with a tapping on every week. And please let me reassure you, this is absolutely normal. It is absolutely normal that you write a story, you write a scene, you finish a chapter and find yourself at a loss of how to continue. And this can even happen if you are a plotter, if you have plotted out your chapters, your outline. Even then, it's quite possible that you get stuck, that you don't know how to transition from one to the next, that maybe your character is acting up. That happens all the time, and that you're simply running into a wall with your writing. I'm going to go through things you can do, some physical things, some mental things, and of course I'm going to give you a tapping round at the end, because that's what I do, that's my expertise, and I love EFT. So this series is so awesome because I can actually see, I get too excited. This series is so awesome because I get to combine my two passions of tapping and writing. So anyway, let's assume you've been writing along nicely, you finished your scene, and all of a sudden you hit that wall and you don't know how to keep going. And you may be sitting in front of your computer getting angry, getting a little desperate, getting a little frustrated, feeling self-doubt, possibly even thinking, I can't do this writing thing anyway after all. And the first thing that I would suggest that you do is to actually leave the computer. Get up, do something else. Physically remove yourself from the situation, because there's nothing to gain in staying in the situation. I mean, you can try to willpower through, but usually what you get out when you write with sheer willpower and no writer brain will not turn out well. There's actually a physiological reason for that, because our brain consists of different parts that originated at different points in our evolution. We have the neocortex, which is the youngest part of our brain, and which is actually the biggest part of our brain. It's the part we use to be creative, to think, to be social. It's the big outer part with all these little grooves, and when you look at a brain, it's usually the gray matter. Which isn't true, because the old parts are also gray, but that's the part we use to be creative. That's the part we use to write stories. And if we get stressed or feel afraid, or even get angry, when this stress level rises, the neocortex goes offline. We lose our ability to think creatively. We kind of go into default mode, which is the middle brain and the core brain. And the middle brain is basically our reptilian or early mammal brain, which does still allow us to function. We can still react to situations. It's actually a good thing. It's a survival mode if we get in a panic attack because we get attacked by the saber-toothed lion. tiger, whatever. We don't want to slow down because we're sort of thinking about this whole situation. We just need to run and get out. So our old reptilian brain has a function, and it's good for saving lives, and it's useful for everything except writing. So you will want your neocortex, your modern brain, online if you want to be creative. Now, if you get stressed about not being able to write, about, sucking as a writer, going into all this emotional overload that we do because we're emotional beings and we're writers and we use those emotions for our work, get out of that situation. Get up, leave the computer, leave the room. There's actually another psychological explanation for that, because if you leave the room, you move into another room, the kitchen, your deck outside, your garden, whatever, you're actually leaving a situation that is unpleasant. And by moving into a different room, compartment, through a door, it's basically this moving through a door that can already reset our brains. Everyone knows this, because you're going to laugh. I'm going to tell you this. Have you ever had this experience that you want to do something and you go into another room to do that, and the moment you enter that other room, you have completely forgotten what you were going to do, why you were there? And sometimes you have to go back to the place where you had the original thought, to pick up that thought again and carry it into the other room. So this is basically the psychological reason behind my suggestion that you get up and leave the room. So you move from one mindset to the other, physically. The other thing that's good is physical activity reduces stress. It's, again, very simple. Adrenaline gets metabolized faster if we move around. It's the whole purpose of all that adrenaline, is to get us moving. It's to get us out of the situation. So move around. And the next thing you can do, get up from the computer, move out of the room, move into a different place. You can start regaining calm and comfort to bring your neocortex, to bring your creative brain back online. And some people do that by doing the dishes, mowing the lawn, going for a walk, pet the cat. I personally love taking a shower. I love curling up in bed. For me, being warm, being in soft, this is, you can tell this is a soft fleece jacket. I love soft clothes. I love my bed. It's a warm, soft, safe place, which absolutely helps in reducing stress. And well, I also have, let me see how I have to move, because this is different than a mirror right now. See, this is a big, there. This is my big armchair, and this is also where I go when I need to think, when I need to create a solution. If I have written myself into a corner, it happens to me. So move away from the computer, move physically, get into a comfortable place. All these things help you bring that creative writer brain back online. And you can create little rituals. You can create places that are your thinking places, which are as comfortable as you can get. You can have a cup of tea. You can have anything that helps you calm down. I would not suggest comfort food. It's usually not healthy, but even that can work if you have this. If you have a severe case of being stressed out with your writing, do what it takes to calm down. Now, again, I want to reassure you, this getting stuck is utterly, perfectly normal. It happens to every writer. And there's another thing that you can do. It depends on how you work. I am pretty much a pantser, which is a person who knows the beginning, the end, and some parts of the middle. And that's how I work. I create the rest while I write. I need this freedom. I need this journey of discovery into my own story, just so that it stays alive for me. That's how I work. It doesn't matter how, this is not the only way. This is my way. If you have a different way of working, if you do your outline, that's perfect. It's all good. As long as it works for you, you will still get stuck. And there's another myth that a lot of people believe, and that is that we need to create our story the way we read it. Now, when you read a book, especially a novel, a work of fiction, you start at the beginning and you read all the way to the end, obviously. I mean, this is what everyone does. And often we have this misconception that if we write a story, we have to do it the very same way. Start in the beginning and write all the way through to the end, hitting every scene, every plot point, everything. And that is not true. It is absolutely untrue that you have to write your story from beginning to end. So what you can do if you get stuck with a transition, with a scene, if it just doesn't work out, you can skip it. Put a mark in your manuscript. Make it very clear what you plan to do there. Just leave a few keywords for yourself as reminders. I've done this before. I went through a story and I thought, ooh, this is practically finished. It just needs some light editing and I can, just kick it off and get it published. But I was going through it and I found this big spot where it says, they do this and this and that. And I'm like, I forgot all about that. I don't even know what I had planned for that chapter. So I took a deep breath, went to my armchair, got comfortable, figured out what was supposed to happen in that chapter, and I wrote it. Last piece of the whole story that I wrote. Just some silly picture in the middle. So, the part where you get stuck is something you can simply skip. I'll move on to the next part that is clear and easy to write. So that's another thing you can do to get out of being stuck. So you have all these physical things you can do. Get up, get into another room, get comfortable, get active. All these things that work with the adrenaline, getting the brain back online. You have also the situation that just lets you keep writing in a spot that feels good and easy to write, and it'll get your confidence back up. And that in turn will help you fill in the spot that you couldn't solve earlier. And of course, if you keep moving through the story, you will also discover, that's the way I do it, that even if you're plotting, there will be surprises, and you will get to know your characters better, and you will get to know the interaction better. So if you skip this difficult spot in your story and just move on and keep writing, you might well discover things that will make it very easy to fill in this difficult spot later on. So just don't let it scare you. There are many ways of dealing with this, many ways of tricking yourself out of the stress. And of course, excuse me, and of course, the thing you can always do that I love to teach is my EFT. That's because EFT also works on the emotions. It reduces stress levels, and it helps you to bring the neocortex back online. And it also works for those of you who have some experience with coaching. For those of you, it helps to bring the vagus nerve system back online, which balances the flight-fight response. We in this time of our lives, in this time where there's a lot of stress outside coming in, we want to have a lot of support for the vagus system, which lets us calm down and be creative and heal and sleep. So I always love showing EFT to people, and I will do a nice little tapping round with you today. And let me start by explaining the points that we're going to use. And well, you can fast forward in the recording to the point where I actually start tapping. So we're going to start on the side of the hand, and while we'll tap that, we're going to have three setup statements, as they're called, which basically means we're stating the problem, we're stating an affirmation, and a potential solution to the problem, which does two things. We focus on what's going on, we name the problem, which always helps to tune in on what's really going on, name the emotions. And with the positive affirmation and the potential solution, we bring our subconscious online, which we eliminate resistance to what we're going to say. And this makes emotional shifts and shifts in beliefs a lot easier. So this is why we're doing the setup phrases when we're doing EFT. It's prep work, basically. Side of the hand, it doesn't matter which hand you're using, because the meridian system, which underlies the effectiveness of EFT, is basically the same on either side of the body. It's a mirror system. So I'm using points that are meridian points. I'm going to show you. We're starting with the inner eye point, which is to the left and right of the bridge of your nose. We have the outer eye point, which is, well, sorry, the glasses are, don't make this easier. So if you have a line that you run through your eyes, it's on the bone outside of the eye socket. Don't hurt yourself. Be careful. We have the under the eye point, which is basically if you draw this line through your eye, it's on the cheekbone underneath the eye. Underneath the nose, very easy to find. Chin points also extremely easy. Collarbone points are just below. Let me see. It's kind of hard to see because my collarbones don't show up very well. But you go down the collarbones and you find the endpoints, and there's one here and there's one here. And you go just a little further down. It gets soft again. I broke my right collarbone. It's a little wonky, so always need a bit of time to find these places. And I put my thumb on one and I put two fingers on the other. That's how I tap my collarbone points. And there's the underarm point. It's just what it says. You just slap it with your hand. And then there's the across the wrist point, which I tap with 2 or 3 fingers, just like that. And those are the points I'm going to use. And all you have to do is just tap along with me. If some of the words don't fit how you feel free to change them. This is a very, how to say this, this is a rather general tapping round. If I work with clients, I work a lot more individually. We do some exploration of beliefs before I start the tapping, and I'm pretty much a detective for finding patterns and limiting beliefs that hold you back from living the life you want, writing the books you want to write. Anyway, let's assume you're stuck in a store, you're getting a little upset, a little desperate, and we're going to do a little tapping together. Side of the hand. Even though I'm so stuck in my story, and I feel absolutely horrible. This feels terrible. But I still love and accept myself. And I'm open to the possibility that I can get out of this stuckness and use one of several tricks to find my creativity again. Second time. Even though I'm stuck in the story and it just feels horrible, I'm really starting to doubt myself as a writer. I thought all writers just write out the story. but I do love and accept myself anyway. And I'm open to the possibility that being stuck is normal and can be overcome. Even though I'm stuck in my story and I hate it, I love my story. I want to finish it, but I'm stuck. I still love and accept myself anyway. And I'm open to the possibility that I can regain my creativity with a trick or two and just keep writing. Now we're going to start into the actual tapping round with the points that I showed you earlier. And all you have to do is copy me, basically. And I hope you will experience a shift and possibly feel very creative and happy to write on. Start at the inner eye point. I am so stuck. I totally hate being stuck. It is the most horrible feeling I've ever had, at least as a writer. I love writing. I love creating stories. But I hate being stuck. I didn't think it would be this hard. I totally hate being stuck. I have no idea how other writers are doing this. It is just horrible. I feel so disappointed. How can my creativity just go away? How can this happen to me as a writer? I hate it. And I'm almost ready to give up on this whole writing gig. But what if it's normal? What if it happens to everyone? What if everyone finds a solution eventually? What if all those famous writers deal with the same crap? What if all writers have to face this? Maybe I'm just being a writer like everyone else. Maybe I just have this little stuckness. And maybe I can get over it. By tapping, by walking away, by taking a break, by taking a shower. There's so many options that I have. I can even skip that stupid scene. I can go ahead to a part of my story I know well. I can keep writing. And there's so many things I can do to keep writing. It's awesome. I choose to keep writing. I choose to regain my creativity. I choose to use all the tricks in the book and some that aren't even there. I give myself permission to keep writing happily. I give myself permission to keep writing a shitty first draft. It doesn't have to be perfect. And I can always edit and make it better. But right now, I choose to regain my creativity. I choose to regain the fun in creating. And I choose to know this is perfectly normal. I love writing. And this feels so much better already. Take a deep breath. And if you have something to drink, take a sip of your drink. Because this is energy work. This is work that involves your body, and drinking a little bit of water, or in my case, some tea, will help your body process the shift we just initiated. Now, of course, this is just a little taste of EFT. This is a little glimpse of what I can do for you, especially as a writer, because I do know how it feels. I've been there. I know how it feels, and I can tap with you with a lot of empathy, with a lot of love, because I love my clients. And if you want to learn more about EFT, if you want to read my blog, if you want to get support, look at writersdreamcoach.com. That's my website. It's my English language website. I have a German one. If you happen to be a German listening to this, you might try out my German website, which is klopfeninkiel.de, and there are little hyphens, minuses between klopfen in here. You will find it. I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know in a comment, either here or on my blog. If you have any questions, tell me what you're writing. I want to hear what you're writing. And I'll see you again next week, and we'll talk about another aspect of writing. NaNoWriMo is awesome in bringing up all these little nastinesses, nasty limiting beliefs, nasty blocks, because it's relentless in its pace. I'm doing my 2,000 words per day, and it's hard, and it's difficult, and I'm sitting there grinding my teeth sometimes. So I'm with you. I'm there. I'm doing the same thing. And let me know if you want support. Let me know if you want a little tip. And check out Writer's Dream Coach on Facebook, on the web. I am on Google, Google Plus, except I don't do much anyway there. But you can find me all over the web. Let's talk. Let me help you. Let me be the wing under your wings. And I'll see you next week.